She stopped seeing herself in mirrors years ago. At 55, working the graveyard shift cleaning executive offices, she'd become part of the furniture. Invisible. The kind of woman men looked through on their way to someone younger, prettier, possible. But Harrison Sullivan noticed. For 3 months, the 38-year-old billionaire stayed late just to talk to her. Brought her coffee. Asked about her life like her answers mattered. She told herself it was kindness. Pity, maybe. Nothing more. Now she's standing in her daughter's kitchen on Thanksgiving. Hands in dishwater, and he just walked through the door. Her kids, his employees, are hugging him like he's family. He's looking at her like she's the only person in the room. And there's a small velvet box in his jacket pocket. Welcome to our channel, where we bring you emotional stories that stay with you. If you're new here, hit subscribe and the notification bell so you never miss a story. And if you're returning, thank you. Your support means everything. Now, stay until the end, drop a comment with your thoughts, and let's begin. Lorraine Brooks froze with her hands in dishwater. Suds dripped from her fingers. The ceramic bowl she'd been scrubbing slipped back into the sink with a soft splash. Mr. Sullivan. Jasmine's voice carried from the living room, bright with surprise. Oh my God, what are you doing here? Marcus Jr. laughed. Did we forget a meeting? It's Thanksgiving, boss. Lorraine's heart kicked against her ribs. She couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. The kitchen suddenly felt too small, too hot. Through the doorway, she could see him. Harrison Sullivan, 38 years old, wearing a navy blue dress shirt that made his eyes look almost gray. He held a bottle of wine in one hand and a bakery box in the other. He looked nervous. His voice was different here. Uncertain. I hope this isn't inappropriate. I know it's a holiday. Family time. Not at all. Jasmine moved toward him, professional instincts kicking in even at home. We're honored. Really. Marcus, take his coat. Lorraine pressed her back against the counter. Her hands were shaking. She dried them on the towel hanging from her waist, but they wouldn't stop trembling. This wasn't supposed to happen. Not like this. They'd been so careful. 3 months of midnight conversations while she cleaned and he worked late. 3 months of him bringing her coffee at 2 a.m., sitting on the edge of his desk while she emptied his trash can, asking about her day, her life, her dreams she'd stopped having years ago. 3 months of falling for a man 17 years younger who should have been impossible. She'd told him about her kids. Bragged about Jasmine's marketing campaigns, Marcus Jr.'s coding skills. He'd listened like their accomplishments mattered to him personally. Because they did. They were his employees. She never told him their last name. He never asked hers. Mom. Jasmine appeared in the doorway, flushed with hosting anxiety. Can you check the mac and cheese? I think I heard the timer. Oh. She stopped. Her eyes moved from Lorraine to Harrison, who'd followed her daughter into the kitchen. Mr. Sullivan, this is my mother. Mom, this is Harrison Sullivan. He owns the company where Marcus and I work. The kitchen went quiet except for the oven timer beeping. Harrison's eyes met hers. Something flickered across his face. Recognition, shock, realization cascading like dominoes. His mouth opened. Closed. The wine bottle tilted in his hand. Ms. Brooks, he said softly. Then, quieter, Lorraine. Jasmine's head snapped toward him. Wait. You two know each other. Lorraine couldn't speak. Her throat had closed. She reached behind her, fumbled for the oven mitt, needed something to do with her hands. The timer kept beeping. Insistent. Demanding. We've met, Harrison said. His voice was steady now. Careful. At the building. Oh. Jasmine relaxed slightly. Right. Mom cleans there. I forget you work such weird hours, Mr. Sullivan. She laughed. You're probably there when she is. Marcus Jr. appeared behind his sister, curious. Small world. Very small, Harrison said. He was still looking at Lorraine. She could feel her daughter watching them both, something shifting in Jasmine's expression. Lorraine pulled the mac and cheese from the oven. Set it on the stovetop. turned off the timer. Each movement mechanical. Practiced. Her hands were steadier when she had tasks. Well, she heard her own voice, distant and polite. "It's nice to meet you officially, Mr. Sullivan." The formality landed like a wall between them. "Harrison," he said. "Please." Jasmine was definitely watching now. Her marketing brain cataloging micro-expressions, body language, the 6 feet of space between her mother and her boss that somehow felt charged. "Dinner's almost ready," Lorraine said to no one in particular. "Jasmine, baby, can you get Marcus to carve the turkey? And set another place. We have a guest." She didn't look at Harrison. Couldn't. If she did, her daughter would see everything. 3 months of secrets written across her face. Jasmine hesitated. "Mom." "I'll help her," Harrison said quickly. Too quickly. "If that's okay. I'm good with side dishes." "You don't have to," Lorraine started. "I want to." The kitchen emptied. Jasmine threw one more glance over her shoulder before disappearing into the dining room, leaving them alone with the cooling food and the weight of everything unsaid. Lorraine gripped the counter edge. "You can't be here." "I didn't know." Harrison set the wine and bakery box down carefully. "You never told me their last name. I never connected." Jasmine Brooks. Marcus Brooks. I never put it together. You need to leave. Lorraine. They can't know. She finally looked at him. His eyes were the same as they'd been at 2 a.m. in his office. Warm, patient, looking at her like she mattered. Like she was worth his time. But this was different. This was her daughter's dining room. Her son's boss. Her whole life colliding. Whatever this is, it can't happen. Not with them working for you. What if I don't want to leave? Her pulse hammered in her ears. Harrison. I came here for a reason. He took a step closer. Not touching. Just present. I've been thinking about this for 2 weeks. Planning it. I bought a ring 3 weeks ago. The room tilted. What? I was going to wait. Do it right. Ask you somewhere private. But then Marcus mentioned Thanksgiving dinner last week, and I thought. He stopped. Ran his hand through his hair. I thought maybe meeting your kids would be the first step. I didn't realize I already knew them. Lorraine's legs felt weak. She leaned harder against the counter. You bought a ring. I've been carrying it in my pocket for 21 days. His voice dropped. Do you know what it's like talking to you at 2 a.m. when the whole world's asleep, learning everything that makes you laugh, watching you work 3 jobs to put your kids through school, seeing how you leave notes for the day cleaning crew so they don't redo what you've already finished? Stop. Seeing how you remember which coffee I like, which days I've had board meetings, when I'm stressed about a donor call. You're 38. The words came out harsh. Protective. I'm 55. Harrison. I clean toilets. Your toilets. Your employees' toilets. My kids' toilets. I know. He said it simply. I know exactly who you are. That's why I'm here. Footsteps in the hallway. They both went still. Jasmine poked her head in. Everything okay? You two need help. Fine, Lorraine said automatically. Just checking temperatures. Jasmine's eyes narrowed slightly. That look. The one she'd had since she was 6, when she knew her mother was hiding something. Okay. Well, we're ready when you are. The dinner was agony. Lorraine sat at one end of the table. Harrison at the other. Jasmine kept glancing between them. Marcus Jr. was oblivious, talking about a coding project, asking Harrison technical questions. Her 2-year-old grandson banged his sippy cup on the high chair. Everything was normal. Everything was breaking apart. So how long have you worked at Sullivan Tech, Mom? Jasmine asked casually, passing the collard greens. You never really talk about it. 12 years, Lorraine said. Since the divorce. And you've met Mr. Sullivan before today? A few times. The lie tasted bitter. In passing. Jasmine hummed. Set down her fork. That's interesting. Because Mr. Sullivan just gave our department a 10% raise last month. Said something about valuing the people who keep the building running. The cleaners, the security team. People we don't see. Lorraine's hands stilled on her water glass. That was overdue, Harrison said quietly. They're the backbone of everything. Shouldn't be invisible. The word hung in the air. Invisible. The same word he'd used at 2 a.m. in his office when she'd mentioned how patients looked through her even when she checked them in for surgery during her day job. Marcus Jr. laughed. Man, you're nothing like the last CEO. That guy didn't even know the cleaning crew existed. I know they exist, Harrison said. He was looking at Lorraine again. I notice. Jasmine set her fork down with a soft click. Okay. What's going on? Jazzy, Lorraine started. Don't jazzy me, Mom. Her daughter's voice went sharp with protective instinct. Something's happening here. The way you two are looking at each other. The way you both keep pretending you don't know each other when clearly. She stopped. Her eyes went wide. Oh my God. Marcus Jr. looked up from his plate. What? You're... Jasmine pointed between them. You two are. Harrison stood. The chair scraped against hardwood. Every eye in the room turned to him. Lorraine's heart stopped. I need to say something, he said. To all of you. Mr. Sullivan, Lorraine said, her voice breaking. Please don't. I'm in love with your mother. The silence was absolute. Even the baby went quiet. Harrison pulled a small velvet box from his pocket. Lorraine couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. This wasn't happening. Not in front of her children. Not at Thanksgiving dinner with gravy congealing on plates and her grandson staring with wide eyes. I've been in love with her for 3 months, Harrison continued. His hand shook slightly around the box. Since the night I found her working with a sprained ankle, refusing to go home because she needed the hours. Since she told me about raising 2 kids alone, working 3 jobs, never asking for help. Since I realized the person I'd been looking for my whole life was someone I'd been walking past for 12 years. He opened the box. The ring caught the light. Simple, elegant, a single diamond on a gold band. Then Harrison Sullivan, tech billionaire, her children's boss, the man who shouldn't matter to her, got down on one knee beside the turkey platter. Lorraine Brooks, he said. Will you marry me? Quick pause. If you're feeling this story, hype it so others can find it. Comment where you're watching from. Now back to the story. Lorraine couldn't feel her legs. The dining room had gone underwater. Sounds muted, faces blurred, everything moving too slow and too fast at once. Harrison was still on one knee. The ring still catching light. Her daughter's mouth hung open. Marcus Jr. found his voice first. What the hell? Language, Lorraine said automatically. Then laughed. High-end strange. I'm sorry. That doesn't matter right now. Mom. Jasmine's chair scraped back. She stood, hands pressed flat on the table. Mom, what is he talking about? 3 months. Harrison started to rise. Lorraine shook her head sharply. If he stood up, if he came closer, she'd shatter. She could feel it. All the careful control she'd built over 55 years cracking like ice. We've been seeing each other, she said. Each word took effort. Not seeing. Talking. At night. When I clean his office. Talking. Marcus Jr.'s voice went flat. Dangerous. The same tone his father had used during the divorce. Our boss has been talking to our mother. At 3 a.m. Alone. It's not like that, Harrison said quickly. Then what's it like? Jasmine moved around the table. Not toward her mother. Toward Harrison. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you've been secretly meeting with our mother. Who cleans your building, who you have power over. I don't have power over her. You own the company. Jazzy, stop. Lorraine stood. Her napkin fell to the floor. He didn't. This wasn't like that. I'm not even employed by Sullivan Tech. I work for the contract cleaning service. Different company entirely. Oh, that makes it better. Jasmine's eyes were bright. Furious or tears, Lorraine couldn't tell. Maybe both. He's still our boss, Mom. He could fire us tomorrow if you turn him down. I would never, Harrison's jaw clenched. You can't possibly think I'd retaliate against. I don't know what to think. Jasmine's voice cracked. I've worked for you for 4 years. 4 years, and you never mentioned knowing my mother. You gave me a promotion last month. Was that because I earned it, or because you're sleeping with Jasmine Marie Brooks? Lorraine's voice cut through the room. Cold. Final. The voice that had raised 2 kids alone, worked 3 jobs, survived a husband who left for a younger woman. Don't you dare finish that sentence. Jasmine's mouth snapped shut. Her eyes filled. I'm not sleeping with anyone, Lorraine continued. Her hands were steady now. Anger burned cleaner than panic. We talk. That's all we've done. Talk. He brings me coffee. I tell him about my day. We talk about books, about his foundation work, about my patients at the hospital. Nothing inappropriate has happened. Except he just proposed, Marcus Jr. said. In front of the sweet potato pie. Yes. He did. Lorraine looked at Harrison. He was still holding the ring box. Still on one knee beside her daughter's dining table like he planned to stay there until she answered. Stubborn man. Without asking me first if that's what I wanted. Something flickered in Harrison's expression. You're right. I'm sorry. I thought I wanted them to see. See what? That you're serious. Her throat tightened. Or that you could make a grand gesture. Because I've had grand gestures before, Harrison. My ex-husband proposed on a jumbotron at a basketball game. Made a whole show of it. Everyone clapping. 2 years later he was sleeping with his assistant. The room went quiet again. Different this time. Heavier. Jasmine sank back into her chair. Mom. I'm not saying Harrison's like your father, Lorraine said. Softer now. I'm saying I don't need public proposals. I don't need witnesses. I needed you to talk to me first. In private. Like an equal. Harrison closed the ring box. Stood slowly. You're absolutely right. I screwed this up. I was nervous. I wanted them to take me seriously. To see that this isn't some fling. That I know exactly who you are, and that's why. He stopped. Shook his head. But I made it about me. About proving something. Not about what you needed. Marcus Jr. was watching them both now. His anger had shifted to something else. Calculation. The same look he got debugging code. How long? He asked. Honestly. How long have you two been doing this? 3 months, Harrison said. September 3rd. The night your mother sprained her ankle in my office. September 3rd. Marcus Jr. pulled out his phone. Scrolled. That's the week you reorganized the cleaning schedule. Made it so Mom's crew only does executive floors. Fewer buildings, same pay rate. Yes. And 2 weeks later you gave the cleaning service a new contract. Better benefits. Health insurance. Yes. And last month. Jasmine's voice was quiet now, thinking out loud. Last month you implemented that profit-sharing program. The one that includes contract workers. Harrison said nothing. Just stood there, hands in his pockets, looking at Lorraine like she was the only person in the room. Oh my God, Jasmine breathed. You've been taking care of her. I've been trying to, Harrison said. She won't let me. Won't accept anything that might look like charity. So I changed policies. Made it fair across the board. She's too proud to take help. But she can't argue with company-wide improvements. Lorraine's eyes burned. She pressed her fingers to her mouth. He'd done all that? Restructured contracts, benefits, profit sharing. Hundreds of workers affected. Because she wouldn't let him help her directly? That's not normal, Marcus Jr. said slowly. Bosses don't do that. I'm not her boss. Harrison's voice went rough. I'm the man who stays at work until 3 a.m. hoping she'll show up early. Who memorizes her schedule so I can leave her notes. Who asked her 97 questions about her life before she asked me one. who learned that she plays Jill Scott when she's cooking and Mary J. Blige when she's sad, who knows she takes her coffee with 2 sugars but only when she's tired, black when she's focused. Who? Okay, Jasmine interrupted. Her voice shook. Okay, we get it. You notice things. I notice her. He looked at Lorraine. She's the most remarkable person I've ever met. And yes, I'm 17 years younger. Yes, I have money. Yes, the optics are complicated. I don't care. I've dated the right women, same age, same background, same tax bracket. Know what they wanted. My money. My connections. What I could do for their careers. He took a breath. Steadied himself. Your mother doesn't want anything from me. She won't even let me walk her to her car. She said it would look bad if anyone saw. 3 months, and the only thing she's ever asked for is that I stop leaving my coffee cups on different surfaces because it makes her route inefficient. Despite everything, Lorraine felt her mouth twitch. He'd been so offended about the coffee cup thing. This is insane, Marcus Jr. muttered. But his tone had shifted. Less angry. More bewildered. It is, Harrison agreed. Completely insane. I know that. But I'm 38 years old. I've built companies, managed teams, made more money than I'll ever spend. And the best part of my day is when your mother shows up at 3 a.m. and tells me I'm working too hard. Jasmine wiped her eyes. Did you know, when you hired us, that we were her kids? No. I hired you because your portfolio was the best we saw. Marcus because his coding test scores were perfect. I didn't make the connection until I walked through that door today. He gestured to the living room. And when I did, I thought maybe it was fate. That I'd get to meet the people she talks about constantly. That maybe they'd see what I do, that she's not just surviving. She's extraordinary. You can't fire us, Marcus Jr. said suddenly. If she says no, you have to promise you won't fire us. Marcus. Lorraine started. No, Mom. We need to hear him say it. Harrison met her son's eyes. I won't fire you. Either of you. Regardless of what happens between your mother and me. You have my word. And if you don't trust that, I'll put it in writing. Contract amendment. Whatever you need. What if she says yes? Jasmine asked quietly. What then? Everyone at work will say we got our jobs because... They already talk, Harrison interrupted. 2 siblings working at the same company? People always talk. Let them. Your work speaks for itself. The baby started fussing. Jasmine picked him up automatically, bouncing him on her hip. The motion seemed to calm her too. She looked at her mother. Really looked. Do you love him? The question hung in the air. Lorraine felt everyone watching. Waiting. Her daughter, her son, her grandson with his sticky fingers. And Harrison, still standing beside the table with a ring box in his pocket and hope written across his face. I don't know, she said honestly. Maybe. I don't. I haven't let myself think about it that way. Why not? Because he's your boss. The words came out tired. Because he's 17 years younger. Because I clean offices for a living and he owns buildings. Because people would look at us and think exactly what you thought, that it's inappropriate, that there's a power dynamic, that I'm using him or he's using me. What do you think? Jasmine pressed. Lorraine closed her eyes. Thought about 3 a.m. conversations. Harrison bringing her coffee, asking about her day, actually listening to the answer. The way he stayed late on her scheduled nights. How he'd started leaving books on his desk. Toni Morrison, Octavia Butler, Terry McMillan, with notes in the margins. This made me think of you. How he'd asked about her late husband once, and when she'd cried, he just sat there. Didn't try to fix it. Didn't fill the silence. Just stayed. I think he sees me, she said quietly. Really sees me. And that's terrifying. Because I've been invisible for 12 years, baby. Since your father left. I raised you too. Worked my jobs. Visited your grandma every Sunday. I had a routine. A life that made sense. And then this man, her voice caught. This impossible man starts noticing things, remembering things, asking questions like my answers matter. And suddenly I'm 55 years old realizing I stopped believing anyone would look at me that way again. Jasmine's eyes filled again. Oh, Mama. I know I'm not young, Lorraine continued. She was looking at Harrison now. Needed him to hear this. I know there are women your age. Younger. Without stretch marks or gray hair or knees that hurt when it rains. Women who didn't raise 2 kids alone on 3 minimum wage jobs. I don't want them, Harrison said. Simple. Certain. I want you. You don't even know me. Not really. 3 months of midnight conversations. Then give me 3 more. He took a step closer. Stopped when she tensed. 3 more months. 6. A year. However long you need. I'm not going anywhere. Marcus Jr. cleared his throat. This is really awkward. Very awkward, Jasmine agreed. But she was almost smiling now. Watery but real. Mom, we're going to go check on dessert. Take your time. Talk. Just. She looked at Harrison. Don't make her cry. She's had enough men make her cry. Never, Harrison said quietly. That's a promise I can keep. The kids left. Took the baby with them. Lorraine heard them in the kitchen, voices low. Probably calling Marcus Jr.'s fiancée. This would be all over the family by morning. I should have asked you first, Harrison said. In private. Given you time to think. That was. I handled that badly. You did. I panicked. Seeing you here with them, realizing they were your kids. I thought if I could just show them how serious I am, they'd understand. That would make it easier for you. Or harder. Lorraine sank back into her chair. Suddenly exhausted. Now they know. My whole family's going to know. Your employees are going to find out eventually. Everyone's going to have opinions about the cleaning lady and the billionaire. So what? Harrison sat down across from her. Not close. Giving her space. Let them talk. I stopped caring what people thought when I was 30. Easy for you to say. You're the billionaire. I'm the one cleaning toilets. You're the one who raised 2 incredible kids alone. Who works 3 jobs and still volunteers at your church. Who remembers every patient's name at the hospital. Who leaves encouraging notes for the night security guard because you know he's studying for his GED. She blinked. How did you know about? I pay attention. His voice was gentle. That's what you don't seem to understand, Lorraine. I see you. All of you. Not despite who you are. Because of who you are. Her hands trembled in her lap. I need time. Then take it. He stood. Pulled out his wallet. Left a business card on the table. My personal number. Not the office line. Call me when you're ready. Or don't. But know that I meant every word. I love you. And I'm willing to wait however long it takes. He walked to the kitchen. She heard him thanking Jasmine, saying goodbye to Marcus Jr. Footsteps in the hallway. The front door opening. Closing. He was gone. Lorraine sat alone in her daughter's dining room, staring at a business card and a cold plate of Thanksgiving dinner, wondering if she'd just made the biggest mistake of her life. Lorraine didn't call. A week passed. Then 2. December cold settled over the city, made her joints ache during the 5 a.m. shift at the hospital. She checked in patients for surgery. Pre-op anxiety, insurance forms, medical histories typed into screens that never changed. Invisible work. Important work. The kind nobody noticed until it wasn't done. She told herself she was fine. That Harrison would move on. That the whole thing had been a temporary madness brought on by proximity and midnight conversations. She told herself this while driving to the Sullivan Tech Building at 2:30 a.m., hands tight on the steering wheel. The executive floor was dark when she arrived. Empty. His office door closed, no light underneath. He'd stopped staying late. She should have been relieved. Instead, she felt the absence like a missing tooth. Her tongue kept finding the gap. Girl, you're cleaning the same spot twice. Renee's voice made her jump. Her coworker leaned against the doorframe, 62 years old with silver locks and eyes that missed nothing. Been watching you stare at that desk for 5 minutes. Just tired. Hum. Renee didn't believe her. Where's your coffee boyfriend? Haven't seen him around. Lorraine's hands stilled on the desk. What? Don't play. Everybody on the night crew knows Mr. Sullivan been staying late on your shift. Bringing you coffee. Talking. Renee's smile was knowing. Security guard said he looked at you like you hung the moon. It's not, we're not. Baby, I've been cleaning offices for 40 years. I know the difference between polite and interested. That man is interested. Renee moved into the office, started emptying the small trash can by the window. Question is, why you running? I'm not running. You're sprinting. Renee tied off the trash bag. Let me guess. He's too young. Too rich. Too white. All of that. So. Lorraine set down her cleaning cloth. So everyone would think. Everyone's gonna think what they want regardless. Renee's voice went firm. I've been watching you for 3 years. You come in, do your work, go home. Never complain. Never ask for time off. Never talk about yourself. You know what that tells me. That I'm professional. That you're hiding. Renee crossed her arms. Hiding behind work. Behind being a mother. Behind being good enough that nobody looks too close. But that man looked. And that scared you. Lorraine's throat tightened. I'm 55. And I'm 62. My husband's 50. We met at a bus stop. He thought I was beautiful. I thought he was lying. Took him 3 months to convince me he was serious. Best 3 months of my life. Fighting against my own happiness. Renee shook her head. Don't do what I did. Don't waste time being scared. What if it doesn't work? What if it does? The question sat in the air between them. Lorraine had no answer. Jasmine called Thursday morning. Lorraine was halfway through her hospital shift, inputting a patient's insurance information, when her phone buzzed. Can you come by after work? We need to talk. Dread settled in her stomach. About what? Just come, Mom. Her daughter's house was warm when she arrived at 3 p.m. The baby was napping. Jasmine had tea ready, the good kind loose leaf in the pot their grandmother had left them. You're avoiding him, Jasmine said without preamble. I'm working. Mom. Jasmine poured tea with steady hands. I talked to Marcus. We've been watching. At the office. Watching what? Mr. Sullivan. Harrison. Jasmine's voice went soft. He's different since Thanksgiving. Different how? Lorraine wrapped her hands around the cup. Needed the warmth. Quieter. Still professional. Still brilliant at his job. But... Jasmine hesitated. He asked me about you. Yesterday. In a meeting about the Q4 campaign. Just casual at the end. How's your family? Your mom doing okay? Lorraine's chest tightened. I told him you were fine. He said, good. That's good. And then he left. But Mom, the way he asked. Jasmine met her eyes. He misses you. He'll get over it. Will he? Will you? Lorraine set down her cup. Baby, you don't understand. Then explain it to me. Because from where I'm sitting, you've spent 12 years putting everyone else first. Me, Marcus, Grandma before she passed, your patients, your jobs. When's the last time you did something just for you? I'm not, this isn't about me. It's exactly about you. Jasmine's voice rose, then gentled. I was wrong. At Thanksgiving. I reacted out of shock. But I've been thinking about it. Really thinking. And you know what I realized. Lorraine waited. You raised us to be brave. To go after what we want. To not let fear make our decisions. Jasmine's eyes were bright. But you're not following your own advice. That's different. How? Because you're my children. I wanted better for you. And we want better for you. Jasmine reached across the table, grabbed her mother's hand. We want you happy. Really happy. Not just content. Not just surviving. Happy. Lorraine's vision blurred. What if I don't know how to be that anymore? Then learn. Jasmine squeezed her fingers. With him. Or without him. But make the choice for you. Not because you're scared of what people will think. Not because of the age gap or the money or the jobs. For you. The building was empty again that night. Lorraine cleaned mechanically. Offices, conference rooms, bathrooms. Her mind elsewhere. Renee's words. Jasmine's words. The absence of Harrison's presence like a phantom limb. She saved his office for last. Always did. Pushed open the door expecting darkness. Light spilled from the desk lamp. Her heart stopped. Harrison sat in his chair, laptop open, papers spread across the desk. He looked up when she entered. Something flickered in his expression. Surprise, hope, carefully tamped down. Hi, he said quietly. You're here. Had work to catch up on. A lie. They both knew it. I'll get out of your way. He started gathering papers. Lorraine's hand moved before her brain caught up. Wait. He froze. You don't have to leave, she said. Each word took effort. I can work around you. Harrison studied her face. Whatever he saw there made him sit back down slowly. Okay. She started dusting. Emptied his trash. Cleaned the windows. The silence stretched, but it wasn't empty. She could feel him watching. Not staring. Just aware of her presence the same way she was aware of his. How've you been? He asked finally. Busy. That's not what I asked. Lorraine paused, cleaning cloth in hand. Turned to face him. Confused. That's fair. He leaned back in his chair. Looked tired. More tired than she'd ever seen him. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Again. I shouldn't have. You should have. The words surprised them both. Lorraine set down her cloth. You should have told me how you felt. Just not like that. Not in front of everyone. I know. Do you? She moved closer. Not too close. Because you made it about you. About proving something to my kids. You didn't ask me what I needed. What would make me feel safe? Harrison's jaw tightened. You're right. I was selfish. I wanted them to see how serious I was. So they wouldn't think I was some rich guy playing games with their mother. But I didn't think about how it would make you feel. Put you on the spot. In front of your children. Thank you. Lorraine exhaled. For admitting that. Does that mean, he stopped. Started over. Are you here to tell me it's over? That you need me to stop? I don't know. Honest. Raw. I'm here because I can't stay away. And that terrifies me. Something in his posture shifted. Not hope exactly. Something more careful. What terrifies you? That you'll wake up one day and realize I'm not. Her voice broke. She steadied it. That I'm too old. Too set in my ways. That you'll want children and I'm done having babies. That you'll want someone who fits into your world and I'll always be the cleaning lady who... Stop. Harrison stood. Moved around the desk. Still didn't touch her. Can I tell you what I see when I look at you? She couldn't speak. Just nodded. I see a woman who raised 2 incredible kids alone. Who worked 3 jobs and never complained. Who remembers everyone's names. Patients, co-workers, the security guard studying for his GED. Who leaves notes for the day crew. Who plays Jill Scott when she's cooking and Mary J. Blige when she's sad. His voice went rough. I see someone who spent 12 years making herself invisible because it was safer than being seen. And I see someone brave enough to let me see her anyway. Harrison. I don't want children. The words came out firm. Clear. I don't want some woman half my age who fits into my world. I want late-night conversations about books. I want someone who calls me out when I'm working too hard. I want to know what makes you laugh, what makes you cry, what you dream about at 3 a.m. when you think nobody's watching. Tears slipped down her cheeks. She didn't wipe them away. I want you, he said simply. Exactly as you are. Stretch marks, gray hair, knees that hurt when it rains. All of it. That's not me settling. That's me finally finding something real. What if we try and it doesn't work? Her voice was small, scared. Then we tried. He took a half-step closer, close enough she could smell his cologne. Subtle, woody, the same scent she'd been cleaning around for 3 months. But Lorraine, what if it does work? What if this is? What if we're supposed to find each other? I'm scared. Me too. He smiled, sad and hopeful at once. I'm terrified. I've never felt this way about anyone. I don't know what I'm doing. I just know I can't stop thinking about you. That my day doesn't start until you walk through that door. That I restructured company benefits because you wouldn't let me take care of you directly. That was manipulative, she said. But there was no heat in it. It was. He didn't deny it. I'll probably do it again. I'm going to try to take care of you in every way you'll let me. And in ways you won't, I'll find workarounds. Because that's what you do when you love someone. You can't love me. You barely know me. I know you take your coffee with 2 sugars when you're tired. Black when you're focused. I know you hum when you clean, old R&B, mostly Anita Baker. I know you call your daughter every Sunday after church. I know you volunteer at the hospital even though you already work there because you think everyone deserves a kind face before surgery. I know. Okay. Lorraine held up her hand. Okay. I believe you. Do you? She studied his face. 38 years old, successful, could have anyone. And he looked at her like she was the answer to a question he'd been asking his whole life. I want to, she whispered. I want to believe this is real. Then let me prove it. Harrison pulled the ring box from his pocket. Her breath caught. Not like this. Not now. But I'm keeping this. And when you're ready, if you're ever ready, I'm going to ask you again. Properly. In private. Just us. That could be a long time. I've got time. He smiled. Real this time. I'm not going anywhere. Lorraine looked at him. Really looked. Saw the shadows under his eyes from too many late nights. Saw the hope he was trying to hide. Saw the ring box he'd been carrying for 5 weeks because he believed in something she was too scared to reach for. She stepped closer. Close enough to touch. Didn't. Not yet. I need time, she said. To figure out what I want. Who I am outside of being a mother, a worker, someone who takes care of everyone else. Okay. And we need rules. If we're going to try this. Real rules. No more grand gestures without asking me first. No restructuring company policies to take care of me. We talk. Like equals. Always. Yes. Harrison's voice was rough with relief. Whatever you need. I need, she took a breath. I need you to take me on a real date. Not at 3 a.m. Not in secret. A real date where we figure out if this is attraction or if it's actually something more. When? This weekend. The words rushed out before fear could stop them. Saturday night. Pick me up at 7. Meet my neighbors. Let people see. Harrison's smile could have lit the whole building. Saturday. 7. I'll be there. Okay. Okay. They stood there, 3 feet apart, the desk between them like a bridge and a barrier. Lorraine's cleaning cart sat by the door. The city hummed 40 floors below. Everything was different. Everything was the same. I should finish working, she said. I should let you. But he didn't move. Neither did she. Finally, Harrison returned to his chair. Opened his laptop. Lorraine picked up her cleaning cloth. They worked in silence, him typing, her dusting, but the air between them felt lighter. Possible. When she finished, she paused at the door. Harrison. Yeah. For the record. She met his eyes. I think I might be falling for you too. And that scares me more than anything. His smile was worth every bit of fear. Saturday arrived with cold rain and second thoughts. Lorraine stood in her bedroom at 6:30 p.m., staring at 3 dresses laid across her bed. Too formal. Too casual. Too trying too hard. She'd raised 2 children, worked 3 jobs, survived a divorce and widowhood. Wait, no. Not widowhood. That was a different story. She'd survived a divorce from a man who left her for someone younger. Exactly what everyone would think Harrison was doing in reverse. Her phone buzzed. Jasmine, you better not be backing out. Marcus Jr., we want photos. Jasmine, ignore him. But seriously, have fun. You deserve this. Lorraine sat on the edge of her bed. The navy dress, simple, elegant, hit just below the knee. She'd bought it 3 years ago for Jasmine's work event and never worn it. Too nice for her life. Too much like hoping for something. She put it on. Applied lipstick. The good kind she saved for church. Looked in the mirror and saw a 55-year-old woman trying too hard. Wiped it off. Reapplied it. Left it. The doorbell rang at 6:58. Lorraine's hands shook as she grabbed her coat. Opened the door. Harrison stood on her porch in dark slacks and a charcoal sweater. Holding flowers. Not roses. Sunflowers. Bright and unexpected against the gray evening. Hi, he said. His eyes moved over her face. Down, back up. You look beautiful. You're early. I've been sitting in my car for 20 minutes. He smiled sheepishly. Didn't want to seem too eager. Despite her nerves, Lorraine laughed. How'd that work out? Terribly. I'm extremely eager. He held out the flowers. These made me think of you. Bright. Strong. Turned toward the light even when everything else is gray. Her throat tightened. That's really cheesy. I know. I practiced it 17 times. He stepped closer, voice dropping. I'm nervous. I really want tonight to go well. Me too. Mrs. Patterson from next door chose that moment to water her porch plants. In the rain. At 7 p.m. She was 73 and didn't miss a thing. Evening, Lorraine, she called. Eyes locked on Harrison. That's a fancy car in your driveway. Evening, Mrs. Patterson. Lorraine forced a smile. This is Harrison. Harrison, this is my neighbor, Claudette Patterson. Harrison walked down the porch steps. Hand extended. Ma'am. Nice to meet you. Mrs. Patterson sized him up like she was buying produce. You're young. Yes, ma'am. Awful fancy for a Saturday night. I'm taking Lorraine to dinner. Mrs. Patterson's eyes narrowed. She's a good woman. Works hard. Raised 2 children alone. You planning to waste her time? Mrs. Patterson. Lorraine started. No, ma'am, Harrison said firmly. I'm planning to earn her time. Every minute of it. Mrs. Patterson studied him for a long moment. Then nodded. Good answer. You two have fun. Lorraine, call me when you get home. Let me know you're safe. I will. Harrison opened the car door for her. Mercedes, dark blue. Leather seats that probably cost more than her monthly rent. Lorraine slid in, hyper-aware of her worn coat, her practical purse. Your neighbor's protective, Harrison said once they were driving. She's known me since I moved in. Helped watch the kids when they were little. Lorraine smoothed her dress. Where are we going? You'll see. Harrison. Do you trust me? She thought about it. Really thought. Yeah. I do. His hand moved toward hers on the console. Stopped. Retreated. Still asking permission with every gesture. Lorraine's chest ached. She reached over. Laced her fingers through his. Harrison's breath caught. His grip tightened. Okay. Okay. They drove through the city, downtown glittering with Saturday night energy, couples walking under umbrellas, restaurants glowing warm against the dark. Harrison pulled up to a small bistro tucked between larger buildings. Intimate. Quiet. The kind of place that didn't advertise. I wanted somewhere we could actually talk, he explained. Not some showy restaurant where everyone's performing. This place is, it's real. A hostess greeted them. Mr. Sullivan. Your table's ready. She led them to a corner booth, private, away from other diners. Candles flickered on the table. Lorraine slid into the booth, and Harrison sat across from her. Close enough to touch. Far enough to think. So, Harrison said after they'd ordered. First real date. What do we talk about? I don't know. What do people talk about on first dates? No idea. I haven't been on one in 4 years. Lorraine blinked. 4 years. I dated someone. It ended badly. She wanted. He stopped. Started over. She wanted the lifestyle. The money. The image. When I said I wanted something quieter, simpler, she laughed. Said I was wasting my potential. He met Lorraine's eyes. I haven't wanted to try again until I met you. Harrison. Your turn. He leaned forward. Tell me something I don't know. Something from before. Before the divorce, before the kids, before everything. Lorraine sipped her water. Buying time. I wanted to be a nurse. Yeah. Studied for 2 years. Then I got pregnant with Jasmine. Her father, my ex-husband. He said we couldn't afford for me to finish school and daycare. That he'd support us. I should stay home. The old bitterness rose. She pushed it down. I believed him. Dropped out. Had Marcus 2 years later. By the time they were in school, I was too far behind. Too old to start over. You're not too old. Harrison's voice was fierce. You're 55. People go back to school at 60, 70. If you wanted to finish. I don't. She smiled. Meaning it. I like what I do. The hospital work. I help people when they're scared. That matters. And cleaning, it's honest. I see the results. I make spaces better. That's enough. But what if it's not? What if you wanted more? Then I'd figure it out. She met his eyes. I'm not some sad story, Harrison. I'm not waiting for you to rescue me. I've built a good life. My kids are healthy and happy. I have work that matters. I'm not. I know. He reached across the table. Didn't take her hand. Just offered his palm up. An invitation. I know you don't need rescuing. That's not what this is. I want to be part of your life. However that looks. Not to fix anything. Just to be there. Lorraine stared at his open palm. Calloused despite the money. He worked with his hands somehow. She'd never asked what he did outside the office. She placed her hand in his. Tell me something, she said. What do you do when you're not working? The real answer. Not the polished version. Harrison's smile was surprised. Real. I restore old motorcycles. What? In my garage. I buy vintage bikes that are falling apart and rebuild them. Get my hands dirty. It's, I don't know. Something about taking broken things and making them work again. Making them beautiful. Lorraine felt something shift in her chest. You never mentioned that. You never asked. No accusation in it. Just fact. We spent 3 months talking about you. Your life. Your kids. I liked listening. Learning about you. I didn't think about sharing back. We're really bad at this, Lorraine said. Terrible. Harrison laughed. We skipped all the normal steps. Went straight to 3 a.m. conversations about mortality and Mary J. Blige. And now we're going backwards. Is that okay? Lorraine squeezed his hand. Yeah. It's okay. Dinner arrived. They ate and talked, real conversation, not the weighted kind from before. He told her about growing up in Connecticut, pressure from his family to join the family business, choosing tech instead. She told him about growing up in Atlanta, moving north for her ex-husband's job, how she'd never quite felt at home until her kids were born. They were on dessert when Lorraine saw them. 2 women from the Sullivan Tech Marketing Department. She recognized them from late-night office cleaning. They'd just walked in, spotted Harrison, and their expressions shifted from pleasant to shocked to calculating in 3 seconds. Harrison followed her gaze. His jaw tightened. "They're going to talk," Lorraine said quietly. "Let them." Harrison. "No." He leaned forward. "No, we're not doing this. We're not hiding. We're not pretending this is something to be ashamed of." "I'm not ashamed." "Then what?" Lorraine looked at her plate. The half-eaten tiramisu. The wine glass with lipstick prints on the rim. "I'm scared they'll make you choose. Between me and your company. Between me and your reputation. There's no choice." Harrison's voice was flat. "Certain. You win. Every time. No question. You can't just watch me." He stood. Walked over to the 2 women's table. Lorraine's heart stopped. She couldn't hear what he said. But she watched. Harrison smiling, shaking hands, gesturing back toward their booth. The women's faces changed. Surprise. Then something like respect. Harrison returned. Calm, unbothered. "What did you say?" Lorraine demanded. "That I was on a date with someone I care about. That I'd appreciate their discretion but understood if they talked. And that if anyone at the office had questions, they could come to me directly." He sat back down. "Also that you're the most interesting person I've ever met and I'm lucky you said yes." "You didn't." "I did." He wasn't smiling now. Serious. "Lorraine, I need you to understand something. I don't care who knows. I don't care what they think. The only opinion that matters is yours. And your kids. Everyone else is noise. Easy to say when you're the boss." "You're right. It is easier for me." He acknowledged it without flinching. "I have power, money, privilege. You don't. That's not fair. So here's what I'm offering. If this gets hard, if people at work make it difficult, I'll step back. Publicly. Make it clear this is my choice, not yours. That I pursued you, not the other way around. That's not negotiable." His eyes were fierce. "I won't let anyone hurt you because of me. Ever." Lorraine's vision blurred. "You're really serious about this?" "Completely serious." He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small envelope, slid it across the table. "Open it." Her hands shook as she lifted the flap. Inside, a letter on company letterhead. Her breath caught. "It's a contract amendment," Harrison said quietly. "For Marcus and Jasmine. Guarantees their positions for 3 years. Performance-based only. No termination without cause. Verified by outside HR review. Severance packages if they choose to leave. It's already signed and filed with our legal team." When did you?" "Wednesday. After you agreed to this date. I wanted you to know, no matter what happens between us, your kids are protected. I can't fix the power imbalance completely, but I can remove the biggest threat." Lorraine stared at the paper. Legal language she barely understood. But the core was clear. Her children's jobs were safe, independent of her choices. "Why?" she whispered. "Because you need to choose this for the right reasons. Not because you're scared of what I could do to your family. Not because you feel obligated. But because you want to." Harrison's voice went rough. "I want you to choose me because you want me. Nothing else." The restaurant noise faded. The other diners, the clink of silverware, the soft jazz playing. All of it disappeared until there was just Harrison looking at her like she was the only thing that mattered. "I want to kiss you," Lorraine said. Surprised herself with the words. Harrison's breath caught. Yeah. But not here. Not with them watching." She nodded toward the marketing women, who were definitely still looking. "Take me home." "Okay." He paid. Helped her with her coat. His hand settled at the small of her back as they walked out. Not possessive, just present. The marketing women watched. Lorraine lifted her chin. Let them. The drive home was quiet. Rain had stopped. Stars peeked through clouds. Harrison's hand found hers again on the console. He parked in her driveway. Walked her to the porch. Mrs. Patterson's living room curtains twitched. "I had a really good time," Harrison said. Standing close but not touching. Still asking permission. "Me too. Can we do it again?" "Yes." "When?" Lorraine smiled. "Are you always this eager?" "Only with you." He stepped closer. "Lorraine, can I kiss you? I've been thinking about it for 3 months, and if I don't ask now I might." She kissed him, rose on her toes, pulled him down by his collar, and pressed her lips to his. He made a surprised sound. Then his arms came around her, careful, like she was something precious. The kiss was soft, tentative, perfect. When they broke apart, Harrison was smiling like he'd won the lottery. "Wow," he breathed. "Yeah. Can we?" "Not yet." Lorraine stepped back. Needed space to think. This is really good. But it's also really fast and really public now, and I need time." "I know." Harrison squeezed her hand once. "I'll give you whatever you need." But Lorraine, that kiss, worth waiting 3 months for. He walked back to his car. Waved once before driving away. Lorraine stood on her porch, fingers pressed to her lips, feeling like a teenager. 55 years old and dizzy from a first kiss. Her phone buzzed. Multiple texts. "Marcus Jr. The marketing department group chat is exploding." "Jasmine. Oh my God, Mom, what did you do?" "Marcus Jr. They're saying Sullivan took you to Marcello's." "Jasmine. And that he introduced you as his girlfriend." "Marcus Jr. And that you kissed him on your porch." "Jasmine. Mrs. Patterson is texting me play-by-play." "Marcus Jr. This is the best thing that's ever happened." Lorraine laughed. Couldn't help it. Her whole life was about to change. Everyone at her kids' workplace would know. Her neighbors would talk. Church ladies would have opinions. And for the first time in 12 years, she didn't care. Monday morning hit like cold water. Lorraine was checking in a patient for gallbladder surgery. Routine intake, insurance verification, when her phone buzzed. Then again. And again. She ignored it until her break. 11 messages. "Jasmine, don't look at the company Slack." "Marcus Jr. Too late, she's definitely going to look." "Jasmine, Mom, call me before you do anything." "Renee from the cleaning crew." "Girl, you didn't tell me he was the Sullivan. The billionaire Sullivan." 3 messages from numbers she didn't recognize. She deleted those without reading. And one from Harrison. "I'm handling it. Don't worry." Which of course made her worry. She opened her laptop in the break room. Logged into the cleaning company portal. They had a shared channel with Sullivan Tech Facilities. Found the message thread from this morning. Her stomach dropped. Someone had posted a photo. Her and Harrison on her porch. Kissing. Mrs. Patterson must have taken it from her window. The image was grainy, dark, but unmistakable. The comments below made her hands shake. Is that the night cleaning lady? She's gotta be at least 50. What's he thinking? Gold digger spotted. My mom works here. She says this woman has been targeting him for months. This is so inappropriate. She's service staff. He's the CEO. I heard her kids work here too. Nepotism much? Lorraine closed the laptop. Stood. Walked to the bathroom on legs that didn't feel attached to her body. Locked herself in a stall. Pressed her forehead against the cool metal door. She'd known this would happen. Known it. But seeing the words, gold digger, targeting, service staff, turned knowledge into knives. Her phone rang. Harrison. She let it go to voicemail. It rang again. Jasmine this time. She answered. Mom, where are you? Work. I'm fine. You're not fine. I can hear it in your voice. Jasmine's words came fast, worried. Did you see the post? Yes. Harrison's losing his mind. He called an all-staff meeting for this afternoon. HR is involved. He's going nuclear on anyone who commented. He can't do that. Lorraine's voice cracked. That'll make it worse. Make it look like he's protecting me because he loves you. Jasmine said quietly. Mom, he does. Anyone with eyes can see it. And yeah, some people are being ugly about it. But Marcus and I have been watching the threads. Most people are defending you. Most isn't all. No, it's not. Jasmine paused. What do you want to do? Lorraine closed her eyes. I don't know. Do you want to walk away? End it. I'll support you either way. So will Marcus. We just want you happy. I am happy. The words surprised her. Or I was. Saturday night I was really happy. And now people are being cruel and you're remembering why you stayed invisible for 12 years. Lorraine's breath hitched. Yeah. Mom. Jasmine's voice went fierce. You taught me to fight for what matters. To not let other people's fear make me small. You made me believe I could do anything. Be anyone. A pause. Let us return the favor. Come to the meeting this afternoon. Jasmine, I can't. You can. You should. Let them see you. Let them see that you're not ashamed. That you have nothing to hide. I'm scared. So be scared. Be scared and come anyway. The meeting was at 3 p.m. Lorraine's hospital shift ended at 2:30. She sat in her car in the Sullivan Tech parking garage for 20 minutes, hands gripping the steering wheel. She could leave. Drive home. Text Harrison that it was too much, too fast, too public. He'd understand. He'd probably agree it was better this way. Her phone buzzed. Harrison, you don't have to come. I can handle this. Then immediately after. But I really hope you do. I want them to see what I see. Lorraine looked at herself in the rearview mirror. 55 years old. Hospital scrubs. Hair pulled back in a practical bun. No makeup. She looked exactly like what she was, a woman who worked 3 jobs and didn't have time for vanity. She thought about Saturday night. The navy dress. Harrison's hand in hers. The kiss on her porch that made her feel 25 again. She got out of the car. The Sullivan Tech lobby was modern glass and steel, the kind of space she cleaned at 3 a.m. but never saw during business hours. People in expensive clothes hurried past. Some looked at her scrubs with confusion. One security guard she recognized from night shifts did a double take. Ms. Brooks. He stood straighter. You're here for the meeting? I think so. 4th floor. Conference room A. He smiled. For what it's worth. I think Mr. Sullivan's a lucky man. Her throat tightened. Thank you. The elevator ride up felt endless. 4th floor. The executive level she cleaned. She knew every office, every desk, every coffee stain on every carpet. But walking through at 3 p.m., with people working, felt like entering a parallel universe. Jasmine appeared from a side hallway. Mom. Oh, thank God. She grabbed Lorraine's hand. Come on. It's about to start. I don't know if I should. Too late. Jasmine pulled her into the conference room. 50 people. Maybe more. All staring. Harrison stood at the front, mid-sentence. He stopped when he saw her. Something in his expression cracked open. Relief, gratitude, love so obvious it made her chest ache. Lorraine, he said. Just her name. Like a prayer. She wanted to run. Every instinct screamed at her to turn around, get back in the elevator, drive home and forget this ever happened. But Marcus Jr. was there too, standing near the back, giving her a small nod. And Jasmine squeezed her hand once before guiding her to an empty seat. Harrison cleared his throat. As I was saying, it's come to my attention that some employees have been discussing my personal life on company channels. Specifically, making comments about someone I care about very much. Silence. Uncomfortable. Heavy. I want to be extremely clear. Harrison's voice went hard. Lorraine Brooks and I are dating. That's not a secret. It's not something I'm hiding or ashamed of. She's an incredible woman, intelligent, kind, hard-working, and I'm lucky she gave me a chance. Someone in the back shifted. Lorraine couldn't see who. Some of you have questions about appropriateness. Power dynamics. I get it. Harrison pulled out a folder. So let me address them. Ms. Brooks is not a Sullivan Tech employee. She works for an independent contracting company. Has for 12 years. Our relationship does not create any direct employment conflict. He paused. Met several people's eyes deliberately. However, 2 of our employees, Jasmine Brooks Turner and Marcus Brooks Jr., are her children. To address any concerns about nepotism or favoritism, I've had our legal team draft new policies. He held up papers. Effective immediately, any employee in a personal relationship with C-suite executives will have their performance reviewed by external HR. Not internal. External. No bias. No favoritism. Just merit. Jasmine's hand found Lorraine's under the table. Squeezed hard. Additionally, Harrison continued, I've implemented a company-wide relationship disclosure policy. Anyone dating a coworker needs to report it to HR. Not for punishment. For protection. So we can ensure no conflicts of interest, no retaliation, no abuse of power. He set down the papers. Looked directly at the section where most of the marketing department sat. Now, about the comments on the internal channels. His voice went cold. The photo posted this morning was taken without consent. Shared without permission. That violates our social media and privacy policies. The person who posted it is being terminated. Not because they exposed my relationship, but because they violated someone's privacy. Gasps. Murmurs. Lorraine's hands shook in her lap. Furthermore, Harrison wasn't done. Several comments on that post were discriminatory, ageist, classist. We have a zero-tolerance policy for discrimination. Those employees are being written up. Second offense results in termination. Someone raised their hand. A woman Lorraine recognized, senior developer, always worked late. With all due respect, Mr. Sullivan, some people have legitimate concerns. About perception. About whether, she hesitated, whether this affects your judgment. Fair question. Harrison nodded. Here's my answer. My personal life is exactly that. Personal. It doesn't affect my business decisions. Never has. Never will. But since we're talking about perception, let me tell you what I perceive. He walked to the center of the room. Commanding. Certain. I perceive that some of you are uncomfortable because Ms. Brooks isn't who you expected. She's not young. She's not wealthy. She doesn't move in the same social circles. And that makes you question my judgment. He paused. But here's what you're missing. She's raised 2 of our best employees. She's worked 3 jobs for over a decade to support her family. She remembers the names of every security guard and every janitor in this building. She leaves notes for the day shift crew so they don't duplicate work. She volunteers at the hospital where she already works full-time because she thinks everyone deserves kindness. His voice roughened with emotion. So yeah, I'm dating someone who cleans offices at night. Someone 55 years old. Someone who some of you think isn't appropriate for me. And I'm telling you right now, she's the best thing that's ever happened to me. If that affects your opinion of my judgment, there's the door. Dead silence. Then someone started clapping. The senior developer who'd asked the question. Then Marcus Jr., then Jasmine. Then more people. Not everyone, but enough. Enough that it felt like the room shifted. Harrison's eyes found Lorraine's. I'm sorry. I know you didn't want this to be public. But I won't let people disrespect you. Not here. Not anywhere. Lorraine stood. Her legs were shaking, but they held. Every eye in the room turned to her. Can I say something? Her voice was quieter than Harrison's. But it carried. Of course. Harrison stepped aside, giving her the floor. Lorraine walked to the front. Faced 50 people she'd cleaned up after for 12 years. People who'd never seen her. Never knew her name. She was service staff. Invisible. Not anymore. I'm Lorraine Brooks, she said. I'm 55. I clean offices at night. I check in patients at county hospital during the day. I volunteer Sunday afternoons. I raised 2 kids alone after my husband left. I've worked 3 jobs since I was 43 years old. She took a breath, steadied herself. I didn't pursue Mr. Sullivan. Didn't target him. Didn't plan any of this. We started talking because I sprained my ankle in his office and he was kind. That's it. He asked questions. I answered. He kept showing up. I kept working. And somewhere in 3 months of 3 a.m. conversations, something happened. Her voice strengthened. Some of you think I'm a gold digger. That I want his money. Here's the truth. His money scares me. The age gap scares me. Going public scares me. I spent 12 years invisible because it was safer. Because people don't judge you when they don't see you. And now, she gestured to the room. Now everyone's seeing me. Everyone's got opinions. And yeah, it's terrifying. Jasmine was crying. Marcus Jr. wasn't far behind. But you know what scares me more? Lorraine looked at Harrison. Walking away from something real because I'm afraid of what people think. Spending the rest of my life wondering what if. She turned back to the room. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep dating him. I'm going to keep working my 3 jobs because I like my jobs. I'm going to keep being visible even though it's uncomfortable. And if that bothers you, if you can't handle the cleaning lady dating the CEO, that's your problem. Not mine. Silence. Then the senior developer stood. I owe you an apology, Ms. Brooks. I made assumptions. They were wrong. Others nodded. Not everyone. But more than Lorraine expected. Harrison crossed to her. Took her hand right there in front of everyone. You're incredible. I'm terrified. I know. He smiled. But you did it anyway. The meeting ended. People filed out, some avoiding eye contact, others nodding respectfully, a few stopping to apologize directly. Jasmine hugged her mother so hard Lorraine couldn't breathe. Marcus Jr. looked proud enough to burst. When the room emptied, Harrison pulled her aside. That was, he stopped. Started over. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. Lorraine cupped his face. If we're doing this, we're doing it right. No hiding. No shame. I won't be your secret. Never. His voice was fierce. You're not a secret. You're God, Lorraine, you're everything. I'm really scared. So am I. He kissed her forehead. Gentle. Reverent. But I'm not going anywhere. No matter what happens. No matter who talks. I'm staying right here. Lorraine leaned into him. Let herself be held in a conference room she'd cleaned 100 times, by a man who saw her when no one else did. Okay, she whispered. Then I'm staying too. 3 weeks passed. Then a month. The gossip didn't disappear overnight. It quieted. Shifted. Became background noise instead of the main story. Lorraine kept working her 3 jobs. Hospital mornings, occasional afternoon shifts, cleaning at night. Harrison kept running his company. They had dinner twice a week. Nothing extravagant. Thai takeout at her place. Cooking together at his loft while he told her about motorcycle engines and she taught him how to make collard greens properly. You're using too much salt, she said, watching him season the pot. My recipe says. Your recipe is wrong. She took the salt shaker from his hand. And you don't just dump them in. You've got to layer. Onions first, then garlic, then the greens, then the broth. Harrison stepped back, hands raised in surrender. Yes, ma'am. Don't yes, ma'am me. But she was smiling. You asked to learn. I did. He moved behind her, arms circling her waist as she stirred. I like learning from you. Lorraine leaned into him. Still getting used to this. Casual affection, someone's arms around her while she cooked, the warmth of being wanted. Some days it felt natural. Other days she still caught herself waiting for it to end. What are you thinking? Harrison's voice was soft against her ear. That this still doesn't feel real. Does it need to feel real? Or can it just be? She turned in his arms. Looked up at him. You're very philosophical for a tech billionaire. I contain multitudes. He kissed her nose. Also, I've been reading poetry. That Mary Oliver book you mentioned. You bought a poetry book because I mentioned it once? I bought 3. He looked sheepish. I'm trying to understand what you love. Poetry. Old R&B. Sunday dinners. The way you think about the world. Lorraine's chest tightened. Harrison. Her phone buzzed. Jasmine. Family dinner Sunday. You're bringing Harrison. Non-negotiable. Marcus wants to grill him. Literally and figuratively. Harrison read over her shoulder. Am I ready for that? Probably not. Lorraine texted back. Fine. But tell Marcus to be nice. Jasmine. No promises. He's very protective. Your son doesn't like me, Harrison said. He doesn't trust you yet. Different thing. Lorraine turned off the stove. He watched his father leave. Watched me struggle. He's not going to let anyone hurt me again without a fight. I respect that. Harrison was quiet for a moment. What do I need to do? To earn his trust. Show up. Keep showing up. That's all. Sunday dinner was at Jasmine's house. Lorraine arrived early to help cook. Her daughter's kitchen already smelled like heaven. Turkey wings, mac and cheese, green beans with bacon, cornbread in the oven. He's really coming? Jasmine asked, pulling the cornbread out. He said he wouldn't miss it. Marcus has questions prepared. Like written down. Lorraine laughed despite herself. Of course he does. The doorbell rang at exactly 5 p.m. Harrison stood on the porch holding wine and a toy truck for Jasmine's son. He'd dressed down, jeans, a simple sweater, but he still looked expensive. Some things you couldn't hide. Marcus Jr. opened the door. Looked Harrison up and down. You're punctual. Yes, sir. Don't call me sir. I'm 27. But Marcus stepped aside. Let him in. Dinner was tense at first. Harrison sat across from Marcus Jr., Lorraine between them like a referee. Jasmine made small talk about work, projects, the weather. Her 2-year-old son threw sweet potato at the wall. Normal chaos. Then Marcus Jr. set down his fork. So, Harrison. Got some questions. Marcus. Lorraine started. It's okay. Harrison met her son's eyes. Ask me anything. Marcus pulled out his phone. Actual notes. Lorraine wanted to sink through the floor. Question 1. What are your intentions with our mother? To love her. Respect her. Support her however she'll let me. For how long? As long as she'll have me. Harrison didn't hesitate. Ideally forever. Marcus Jr.'s eyebrow rose. Forever's a long time. Yes, sir. What happens when she gets older? 60. 70. When she needs help. Then I help her. Harrison's voice was steady. Same as she'd do for me. That's what partnership means. What about kids? You want them? No. I don't. Harrison looked at Lorraine. We've talked about it. I'm good with being in your lives. Being a step something if you'll have me. But I'm not trying to replace your father or have children of my own. Good. Marcus Jr. made a note. Because she raised us already. She doesn't need to raise more kids. Marcus, baby. Lorraine tried. Question 3. Marcus wasn't done. You're rich. She's not. How do you handle that without making her feel? He gestured vaguely. Less than. Harrison was quiet for a long moment. That's a hard one. Because I screw it up constantly. I want to fix things by things, make her life easier. And she won't let me because it feels like charity. Like I think she needs saving. He leaned forward. So we're figuring it out. Slowly. She pays when we go out sometimes. I pay sometimes. We split groceries. She won't let me touch her bills. But I did restructure the cleaning company's benefits so everyone, not just her, gets better health care. Manipulation, Marcus Jr. said. But he was almost smiling. Absolutely. Harrison didn't deny it. I'll probably do it again. Your mother's too proud to accept direct help. So I find workarounds. Sneaky. Desperate. Harrison's voice roughened. I love her. I want her safe. Healthy. Not working 3 jobs because she has to. But I also respect her enough to not steamroll her choices. So yeah. It's complicated. We're figuring it out. Jasmine wiped her eyes. That was a really good answer. Marcus Jr. studied Harrison for a long moment. Then nodded. Okay. One more question. Shoot. Why her? Marcus's voice lost its edge. Went soft. Worried. I'm not trying to be mean. But you could date anyone. Why our mom? Harrison looked at Lorraine. Really looked. Like no one else existed. Because she's the first person who didn't want something from me. Every woman I've dated wanted the lifestyle. The money. The image. Your mother won't even let me pay for dinner half the time. He smiled. Sad and genuine at once. Because she works 3 jobs and still has energy to ask about my day. Because she remembers everyone's names. Security guards, janitors, patients. And treats them like they matter. Because she raised you too. Because she plays Mary J. Blige when she's sad and Jill Scott when she's cooking, and I spent 3 months learning the difference. His voice cracked slightly. Because at 3 a.m., when the whole world's asleep and I'm exhausted and questioning everything, she shows up. Asks if I'm okay. Tells me to go home and rest. Makes me feel. He stopped. Steadied himself. She makes me feel seen. Not for my money or my company or my success. Just for me. And I've been looking for that my whole life. The table went quiet. Even the baby stopped banging his cup. Marcus Jr. blinked rapidly. Cleared his throat. Okay. That's yeah. Okay. Did I pass? Harrison asked. You passed. Marcus stood. Held out his hand. Welcome to the family. Officially. But if you hurt her, I know people. You code for a living, Jasmine said. I know people who know people. Marcus shook Harrison's hand firmly. I'm watching you. I'd expect nothing less. The tension broke. Dinner continued, easier now, laughter, stories. Harrison helped clear plates. Loaded the dishwasher wrong. Jasmine corrected him. He tried again. Lorraine watched her children accept this man into their lives and felt something in her chest unknot. After dessert, after the baby went to bed, they sat in the living room. Harrison's arm around Lorraine's shoulders. Natural. Right. Mom, Jasmine said quietly. You look happy. I am. Lorraine leaned into Harrison. Really happy. Good. Marcus Jr. sprawled on the other couch. You deserve it. We just needed to make sure he knew that. I do. Harrison squeezed Lorraine gently. I really do. The holiday party was 2 weeks later. Sullivan Tech's annual celebration. Black tie, fancy hotel, the whole company invited. Lorraine had planned to skip it. Too much. Too visible. Then the invitation arrived at her apartment. Hand-delivered. Heavy cardstock with her name in gold lettering. Lorraine Brooks and guest. She called Harrison. You put me on the list. Of course I did. You're my girlfriend. I want you there. Harrison, everyone's going to stare. So let them. His voice was gentle. But if you don't want to come, I'll skip it too. We can have our own celebration. Just us. Lorraine thought about it. Thought about 12 years of being invisible. Of cleaning these offices. Attending these parties only as service staff. Of watching everyone else celebrate while she emptied trash cans. What time should I be ready? She asked. Harrison's breath caught. Really? Really? But you're buying my dress. That's non-negotiable. Done. I'll send a stylist. Harrison. Too late. Already texting her. The stylist arrived 2 days later. Brought 6 dresses. Lorraine chose a deep burgundy gown, elegant, age-appropriate, made her feel beautiful without trying too hard. The stylist did her hair, her makeup, told her she was stunning. Lorraine looked in the mirror and barely recognized herself. Harrison picked her up at 6. Stopped dead in her doorway. Wow. Too much. Perfect. You're perfect. He was wearing a tuxedo. Looked like he'd stepped out of a magazine. Ready? No. But let's go anyway. The hotel ballroom was transformed. Lights, decorations, music. People in expensive clothes everywhere. Lorraine recognized some from the cleaning crew perspective. Desks she'd dusted, offices she'd vacuumed. But walking through the front door on Harrison's arm was different. Visible. Exposed. People stared. Of course they did. Whispered. She lifted her chin. Kept walking. You okay? Harrison murmured. Ask me later. Jasmine and Marcus Jr. were already there. Jasmine in a stunning dress. Marcus in a sharp suit with his fiancée. They converged immediately. Mom, you look amazing, Jasmine breathed. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Don't throw up on the fancy dress. Marcus grinned. Harrison paid too much for it. I did not, Harrison started. You absolutely did, Marcus interrupted. I Googled the designer. They found their table. Dinner was served. Wine flowed. Harrison kept his hand on Lorraine's under the table. Steady, grounding. Reminding her she wasn't alone. The senior developer from the meeting approached. Ms. Brooks. You look lovely. Thank you. I wanted to apologize. Again. For my assumptions. You've. She hesitated. You've been good for him. The company. You've made him more human. Lorraine blinked. I don't. He used to be all business. Never left the office. Worked himself into the ground. Since you. She smiled. He leaves at reasonable hours. Smiles more. Actually remembers we exist. So thank you. She walked away before Lorraine could respond. Did that just happen? Lorraine asked. Told you, Harrison said smugly. You're good for me. More people stopped by their table throughout the night. Some genuinely warm. Some clearly curious. A few still cold. But Marcus and Jasmine ran interference, and Harrison never left her side. Then the speeches started. Harrison had to go up. CEO, host, expected. He kissed Lorraine once before standing. Walked to the microphone at the front of the room. Thank you all for coming, he started. Standard corporate talk. Company performance, goals, appreciation. Lorraine listened with half an ear, watching him command the room with easy confidence. Then he paused. Looked directly at her. Before I close, I want to say something personal. This year I learned something about myself. About what matters. His voice changed. Softer. More real. I learned that success isn't about money or growth charts or market share. It's about people. The ones we love. The ones who see us. The ones who make us better. Lorraine's heart started pounding. I met someone this year who changed my life. She taught me to slow down. To notice people I'd been walking past for years. To value work that's invisible but essential. To understand that worth isn't about titles or salaries. It's about character. Integrity. Kindness. He smiled. She also taught me that I've been making collard greens wrong for 38 years. Laughter rippled through the room. Lorraine covered her face with her hands. Lorraine Brooks is the most remarkable person I've ever met. And I'm incredibly lucky that she gave me a chance. So here's to her. And to everyone else who shows up, does the work, and makes the world better without needing recognition. You're seen. You matter. Thank you. The room erupted in applause. People turned to look at Lorraine. She was crying. Couldn't help it. Harrison made his way back through the crowd, pulled her to her feet, kissed her in front of 300 employees. Someone whistled. Jasmine cheered. Marcus Jr. yelled something about, "Get it, Mom," that made her laugh through tears. "I love you," Harrison said against her lips. "In case that wasn't clear." "You're insane," Lorraine whispered back. "You just told 300 people you love me." "I'd tell 3 million. He kissed her again. "I'd tell the whole world." "Harrison." "I know. Too much. Too public. Too fast." He pulled back, looked at her with those steady eyes that saw everything. "But Lorraine, I'm 38 years old. I spent 2 decades building a company, making money, achieving every goal I set. And none of it mattered until you walked into my office at 3 a.m. and asked if I was okay." Her vision blurred. "I love you too." "Yeah. Yeah. Even though you're impossible. Even though you make grand gestures when I specifically asked you not to. Even though," her voice broke, "even though I'm scared and this is complicated and everyone's watching." "Let them watch." Harrison cupped her face in his hands. "Let them see that the cleaning lady and the billionaire fell in love. That age gaps don't matter. That class differences don't matter. That the only thing that matters is 2 people choosing each other. Every single day." Lorraine kissed him. Long, deep. Not caring who saw. When they broke apart, the room was still applauding. Jasmine was openly crying. Marcus Jr. looked proud and embarrassed in equal measure. The senior developer raised her glass in salute. And Lorraine realized something. She wasn't invisible anymore. She was seen. Fully. Completely. By this impossible man and by herself. She was 55 years old. She cleaned offices. She checked in patients. She raised 2 beautiful children. She worked hard. She loved deeply. She was enough. She had always been enough. 6 months later, Harrison proposed again. Properly this time. Just the 2 of them, in his office at 3 a.m. while she was supposed to be working. He got down on one knee by the desk where they'd first talked and asked if she'd spend the rest of her life with him. Lorraine said yes. They got married in Jasmine's backyard. Small ceremony. Close family. Mrs. Patterson from next door took photos. Marcus Jr. walked her down the aisle. Harrison cried. So did Lorraine. At 55, she learned something. It's never too late to be seen. To be loved. To start again. What would you rate this story? Drop 0 to 10 in the comments right now. If this story moved you, hit subscribe for more emotional journeys every week. And if it truly touched your heart, consider leaving a super thanks. Your support helps us create more stories like this. Every contribution, big or small, means the world. Ready for the next story? It's even more dramatic than this one. Click now. Thank you for being part of this journey.